Right now in IB Lit, we are reading a book called Moshi Moshi. And in the book, the main character Yoshi seems to be having some trouble with some ghost or Yūrei. And I would like to talk a little bit about them today. So Yūrei are also called by different names such as Obake, Shiro, and Borei. So if you ever hear it by any of those names, that also means the same thing. So according to traditional Japanese traditions and values, as a person dies, their soul will go on and live as a separate entity. And the hope is that they will go on to live a heavenly afterlife. But this can only be obtained if the family of the person has a funeral and prays for them and doesn't forget about them throughout their life, basically. And in good cases, the spirit can become a guardian of the family. And in not so good cases, if the spirit was killed in malicious intents, or if they were just killed horribly, or if their family does not look after them after they pass away, they can become vengeful spirits, which will indeed wreak havoc on people's lives, and they can haunt graveyards, in houses, in people, in their families even, as well as their killers if it comes to that. So they're typically described to look as similar as they did when they were alive, and most of the time they have their hair disheveled and long and blackened in front of their face, and they are pale, and their hands kind of dangle down by their sides and are just lifeless, and they typically float and are wearing what they wore when they were buried. So a burial kimono or a uniform of a warrior. There are many different types of Yūrei. So there is Anryo, which are vengeful spirits, Ubume, who are mothers that died during childbirth, Goryo, which are vengeful aristocratics, Funayuri, which are people that died at sea, and then Sashiki Warashi. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I butchered it. But those are child ghosts. Now you might be wondering, Paige, how can you get rid of these? Well, there are some options, but they most likely will not work. You can either get them exorcised by a priest, or you can try to help them fulfill their mission. And those are just kind of like a glimmer of hope, so they won't typically happen. Typically, you'd be stuck with them for your whole life. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something new. I thought this stuff was so interesting. I've always been into ghost stories, so when I got the opportunity to search this up, I had a great time. Have a great day. Thank you.